Hi, this is Steve Plotkin from Cognition Sales and Marketing. We're an inbound marketing agency specializing in helping small business owners really get the fundamentals of inbound and use it within their business to drive more traffic, get them more actually qualified leads, help nurture those leads with good content and demonstrating your expertise and your product range, converting those customers, those leads into customers, and then also getting that valuable repeat business from your existing customers. I'm a great fan of inbound marketing. Inbound marketing is a fairly new philosophy, and having been in sales and marketing all my life, I've done a lot of the traditional outbound banging on doors, telephone sales type of activity with various either clients in the past or as myself as a sales and marketing professional. And those sort of strategies are dying off now. You're really seeing much less effectiveness around those traditional outbound strategies and how they can benefit your business. And a lot of people are throwing a lot of money at that just to get really small returns. So this is where inbound marketing is completely different and changes the landscape on how you go about marketing your business. And it's a really powerful system, and there are some really quite comprehensive elements to it, and I'll talk about that shortly. But one of the key components is business blogging, which is why we've put together this toolkit for you, just to give you a good start on generating a blog for your business. Now in the toolkit, the first thing you'll see there is a business blogging infographic. That's on the iPad image. I love infographics, so a great way to get lots of information across. And I'm going to walk you step by step through that infographic as part of this video, because for me it's really important you understand why blogging is important for your business. A lot of people talk about the fact that you should do it. It's a great way to demonstrate your expertise, but let me tell you why, and let me show you how that can benefit you in terms of lead generation. So I'm going to walk you through that in a moment. But included in that package as well, in this toolkit, is the ebook Secrets of Killer B2B Marketing Blogs. Dive into that. That'll give you loads of information on how you put your blogs together, what information you need to start blogging, how you would structure a blog, how you go about promoting a blog. So it's packed full of loads of information you might need there to really get going on blogging if you've not done it in a great way before. We've also, as you can see on the screen, on the iMac screen there, I'm a bit of a fan of Apple products, as you can tell, a mind map which has got over 50 keyword blogging titles in there. Depending on the scenario you want to adopt, what sort of message you want to put out there, there's loads of different ideas and suggestions there. And finally, open on the floor is just a simple step-by-step guide for laying out a simple blog post. And there's some electronic examples you can click through and have a look at as well. But it will give you a really clear picture on how you set up your blog and optimize it to get the most benefit from it. But first of all, let me just talk to you a little bit about the history of marketing. I said before that I was been a sales and marketing professional for over 25 years, been working with some of the biggest B2B brands out there, so PepsiCo, Wilkinson Sword, Georgia Pacific, etc. And in those roles, both as managing sales and marketing teams within those roles, and those big FTSE 100 companies, we did a lot of this traditional outbound marketing with big sales teams, with big point of sale material, with big campaigns around direct mail, etc. And these traditional sort of direct mail campaigns are actually starting to make a comeback, to be fair. But we all remember the day of not being really able to open the front door after coming back from a 2-week holiday, when you ended up met by this massive post and just complete junk that comes through the door. And this has really died off now, because people have seen it just became so much, it was really ineffective. Used tactically right now, it actually can be quite useful, but because obviously we don't see much of it on the doorstep anymore, but it's got a really bad reputation. You have to be really careful with it. We all remember the time when, getting home from work, trying to sit down for dinner, anywhere between 6 and 9 o'clock at night, we get pestered by those constant sales calls, those outbound telemarketing agencies who were just constantly ringing you up to offer you products and services, savings on your electricity bill, etc. And we all remember going through that time. And again, telesales has got a really bad reputation, and if you are going to embark on it, you have to do it really carefully. But you can often get a very big investment in telesales, because good telesales professionals are, A, they're very good, but B, they're not cheap. So, it's important if you're going to do telesales to get the right professionals on board. But again, you're spending a lot of money for a lot less return. And then finally, the dawn of the computer age and the internet and email and spam just became prolific. So a lot of things now have stopped that happening, and you end up with spam filters, and you end up with ISPs now being very protective about their open rates and send rates, etc. So they are watching people carefully to make sure they're not just spamming you with random rubbish. So with all of this going on, people are getting very switched off to your marketing message. It's very difficult to get heard in this sort of fairly crowded environment, and this is where inbound marketing really comes into its own. And there are several elements to inbound marketing, but in essence it's about getting found or getting noticed for what you do. So things like people looking for you with search engine optimization, getting found when people are looking for you, marketing automation, so getting out email and lead nurturing campaigns to people to make them aware of what you do, sharing that information on social media, creating great content to demonstrate your expertise and everything. And the blogging can help in a number of these ways. It helps with search engine optimization, and I'll come on and talk about that in a bit. But you know, Google, the latest releases of Google, they want dynamic content. They want content which is not only timely but also really relevant. And the way they determine how it's relevant is to you know, one of the criteria is that you've got your keywords, but each page is about an individual subject. So each page is dedicated to an individual subject, and if that's the case, then Google sees that as a valuable piece of content to push forward. And so there are various elements within SEO. It's quite complicated, but there are various elements within SEO in terms of like linking, keywording, having keywords in pictures, etc. And blogging can really help support that. Trying to get an additional pages on your website can be really hard work, but getting a blog post up is and does become an additional page on your website. So it's a great way to get that message out there. It's important to get your structure right, and within the blogging toolkit you'll find that there's a guideline brochure which talks you through exactly how to lay out an individual blog. It can help with marketing automation, obviously, because people subscribe to your blog. It's a different medium. You're not always emailing them all the time. People subscribe to your blog, and as soon as you publish a new post, they're automatically notified of that post. And depending on the software you choose, you can get some really good analytics attached to it in terms of, and Google Analytics as well could be added to it, to show you what sort of traffic you're getting to your blog and what keywords people are coming across you with. Obviously it's great to link it with social media, and it gives you valuable messages to share with social media and drive traffic, move traffic around, so people start going from Facebook or LinkedIn and then moving onto your blog to see you, and then from your blog to your website, for example, to make that inquiry. So it has aspects of help of influencing all of these. If you're struggling with understanding what emails to put out to your customer base or your prospect base on a regular basis, just simply putting an email out promoting your blog posting is a great tool, and it enables you to have some valuable content to put out there to your clients. If you're creating landing pages to offer a particular service or a particular piece of content you've created, and you want to promote that landing page, again putting a call to action either within the blog or at the bottom of the blog, and you'll see some examples in the toolkit as you go through, will be a great way to promote those landing pages. So blogging should be at the heart of your inbound marketing strategy, and is really, if you're not doing it, the best place to start. So this is the infographic, and really you need to understand why you should be blogging. So those businesses who blog generally get about 55% more website visits than those who don't blog. They have 97% more inbound links than those that don't blog, and are over 400% more index pages of their website. So Google are looking to serve their audience with relevant quality content, and quality is the key word, because gone are the days where you could hide a lot of keywords within the site and Google would just see lots of keywords, therefore assume your content was great. Now it's all about quality content, and it determines that in a number of different ways with the latest algorithms, and one of them is quality inbound links. There's a recent release that came out which penalized people for having paid links. So how do you get more inbound links? Well, blogging's a great way to encourage people to either comment on your site or to actually feature your site in some of the blogging directories, which we'll talk about. towards the end of this infographic. And obviously every blog you post is a new page to your website, so very quickly you can start getting a much more robust, much more prolific website out there for the search engines to rank. And again, it becomes about each individual page is about one subject. So where do you start? Well, if you've not got a blog, then it's a simple 1, 2, 3 system. Set up an account in one of the main blogging platforms. We use marketing automation software called HubSpot, which is a great tool for creating blogging and also for managing social media and all inbound marketing strategies. It's a fairly chunky investment though. If anyone's got any questions about that, feel free to come back to me and I'll try and help you with understanding the best choice for you. But there are some great free ones out there. So WordPress is an obvious one that's really popular, and it's a great tool. It's got so many plugins available to it now that you can do a lot with it, and it's a really good platform for getting your blog started. There are lots of different opportunities to try it. I would encourage you, if possible, to go down the WordPress.org route rather than the WordPress.com route. WordPress.com are a company that will host your WordPress site for you under a domain name of your choice. It is slightly limited in terms of the plugins and themes available. If you go the WordPress.org route, where you need to host it, then you can get a lot more flexibility. If you talk to your web developers or a web developer near you, or come back to us and we'll help you with that. But we can set up those that blog for you if need be. But set it up and it's yours, you own it, and WordPress is a free resource. Keywords are critical because the whole reason you're doing this is to be found. So you want to start sending these blogs out to people who you already know. But that's fine because that demonstrates your expertise. But equally, you want to be found by people you don't know. One of the key objectives you should have as part of your marketing is to grow your reach, your total reach of all your people you speak to. And search marketing is a great way of doing that, but it all starts with the keywords. So dive into Google AdWords tool. If you Google, go onto Google and Google the keyword tool UK, and you'll come up with Google's keyword tool. And you just type some keywords in there you think people would type in to look for your product and service, and you'll get a list of keywords. Try and pick the medium or low competitive ones with some good traffic attached to them, and try and define around 5 or 7 keywords for your main site page, and then 5 to 7 keywords for each service you do. So when you're going to create a blog about a particular service that you do, then that particular service has got 5 keywords attached to it, and then either you or any of your content writers or your marketing department understand what keywords you're chasing and you're being consistent about it. So really important to get your keywords. And finally, you need some content. So it's tough to create content, and there are 3 main areas I would suggest you start looking at creating your content. Your advice. This is you telling people what they should be doing and how they can benefit from doing things with your advice. Don't be afraid to share on your blog your best advice. Don't feel that you need to keep that back because that becomes a chargeable service. What people should do is and how people do it is something you should be sharing, step-by-step guides, as we are today. Physically doing it, some people struggle with, and they'll be the ones who'll come back to you as your client. Those who do it themselves based on your advice will rave about you to everyone else. So don't be afraid to share your best content. But your advice and your step-by-step guides, whatever it might be, are great places to start with what content you want to produce. Obviously, your success stories with your customers and how that's worked are again a great social proof, and you should be blogging about those. And anything that's industry news related, so subscribe to some local industry news sites and just see what's happening in your industry. Become the industry expert. It's absolutely fine, as long as you credit them with the content, to comment on someone else's content. So if you find a news piece about your industry, a change in HR law, for example, there's no reason why, if the CIPD are putting that out, you wouldn't post that on your blog with your comments attached to it, referencing back the CIPD or whoever else might be a governing body or industry leader in your area. Absolutely fine to do that as long as you credit them. So that's where you start. The 3 roads to successful blogging. Frequency. A lot of people ask about frequency. Ideally, I'm going to give you the ideal, and this will probably make you fall off your chair at the moment when I say this, but ideally around 16 to 20 blog posts a month, which is around 1 every working day. Now that's going to scare most people to death. what I'm going to say to you is that's the goal to aim for at some point. Those who blog that frequently get far more traffic than those who blog less, and that's seems to be the optimum level. All right. So the more the blog, the more traffic you'll get for. Start with weekly. If you can do one a week, you'll be putting out some really great content consistently. And as you get in the flow, as you get, maybe your team grows and you get some people who can help deliver the content, then start to increase that frequency. Be a problem solver on your blog. Use your blog to demonstrate your expertise. Yep, 71% of people say that purchasers say that blog is influential in their purchasing decision. So if they're looking and checking you out, and you'll be naive to think that buyers don't do as much, if not more, research on you than you will do as a seller on them. So when they're looking to place a contract or deal with a company, they will do some research on you. So make sure you get your blog up and get that in front of your customers. Add it to your email footer, for example, and encourage people to check it out. But equally, the blog's a great content piece, but you want to give people the opportunity within those to engage with you further. And what does that look like? Well, that's calls to action, and that's nice graphical images, and you'll see some of those on some of the examples we've given you. But encourage people to take the next step and be clear about what the next step is to engage you or get more information. So let's have a look at what an anatomy of a blog post is and how you can build one. There's a step-by-step guide in the toolkit to help you with this. But in essence, first things first: keyword relevant site title and blog title. All right. So make sure the blog title and the actual site title itself are keyword relevant. Make sure your content's keyword optimized. Don't go mad, don't overdo it, otherwise you'll get penalized for just dropping loads of keywords in. Just be sensible about it. It needs to flow. If you can highlight them in bold or italic, that will again indicate to the search engines that it's the main focus piece for this content. Make sure at the bottom you've got a regular call, a relevant call to action, and this so readers can either learn more or take the next step. Yeah, and there's also the opportunity with sidebars, for example, to add additional calls to action that appear alongside every single blog post, so people can take advantage of other services you're offering. So if you find someone who lands on here, it's just a way of sharing your other types of services available. Your social media sharing buttons are important because at the top of the blog post as well as in the sidebar, because you want people to connect to you on social media, you'd like to grow your audience, and encouraging them to share your content is a great way to spread the word. I would always recommend an image. I'm a very visual person, as you can probably tell from this presentation, and I find looking at text with images on a lot easier to digest. A lot of people do, and anything that's graphically quite interesting often engages people as well. So you'll get both sides, those people who like to read and those people who are quite graphical, if you can merge the two together. But Google can't actually see the picture. But what Google can do is can understand what the file name is, and also what's called the alt tag is. And the alt tag is, for those of you with Outlook, for example, you may get an email with little red crosses in it, where all the pictures should be, and the little description. And the description is the alternative to showing the picture. Alright, that's what the alt tag is. So make sure that's your keyword. So if my keywords here, for example, are LinkedIn for business, I would save that image as LinkedIn-for-business.jpg. All right, and then Google would read that as and it would understand the dashes and the hyphens, and understand that they were word separators, and understand what the keyword phrase I was after attached to that image was. But equally, there's an alt tag behind that, which is exactly the same but without the dashes. So it would just say LinkedIn for business with spaces instead of dashes. And then Google can read both of those and understands what the image is about. So you should always try and save your images not as photo4.jpg but as a relevant keyword phrase. Get external and internal links on your website to your website and other blog posts. So if you've got other blog posts that you refer to in this blog post, link back to them. If you've got services on your website you're referring to, then link back to them as well, and make your blog an authority linking link to your own website, and you can use it for that purpose. So really useful, important to lay out the blog, not just put loads of words on a piece of paper. Make sure it's working for you. But this is the biggest stumbling block everyone will get to, which is how to create content. And there are a few ways here that we suggest on how you might help create content. I'm sure you've got existing content either from your website, ebooks, a brochure. You may have written some introductory text to some networking site or etc. Or you might have had some PR done on you. Use that and repack that existing content. It's important to reuse that and make the most of the efforts you made already. If you've got a team around you, make sure you get their expertise to contribute to the blog, and that should be part of their job description. If you're a bigger company with a team, people's job description should include sharing their expertise with blog posts, and that's a great way. If you share that out once a month between 4 people, you're going to get 1 a week up straight away. Get guests to come on. Ask authority figures in your industry to come on and contribute to your blog. If your blog's got a good basis and a good structure to it, then people will be happy to come on and contribute. And share and browse social media channels, especially LinkedIn Answers, for example. If you go onto LinkedIn and looked in the Answers section of LinkedIn, you segment it by category and industry, and there's some really good answers in there. Well, write a blog post instead of writing the answer on LinkedIn. Write a blog post about the answer, then go back to LinkedIn, answer the question, and link them back to your blog post to read the full story. Alright, and you'll drive traffic from that social media channel over to your blog. And if they subscribe to your blog, and it's easy to subscribe to your blog. So if you look here, back on this blog post, there's under the social media sharing buttons is subscribe to our blog. So as long as you make it easy for people to subscribe, then what you'll get is driving traffic from and growing your audience from social media networks. So they're really good ways to sort of grow and engage your blog content. But just remember what I said earlier on. Keywords have to go in here, and make sure you're blogging about relevant stuff to help your business. Okay. And then once you've got your blog up and running, you're ready to promote it. But where do you promote it? Well, if I were you, what I would do, and what we do and we encourage our clients to do here, is write the blog post first. Okay, have a call to action on it, and then I would send an email out to all of your audience using a proper email service to say that this is the question, or this is the problem. Maybe just cut and paste the first paragraph from the blog post into the email and just say read more on our blog, and send that to your whole audience and encourage people to start looking at your blog. Alright, or you can talk about something related to that blog post on an email, and then to read more or to find out more about the subject, check out our blog. So I would first of all email your existing audience and tell them that you're putting a blog together. Get it on some directory sites like Dig or Technorati, for example, and make sure you're getting those listings on there. Once you do a blog post, be sure to share it across all of your social media channels, and don't just do it once, because not everyone will see the posts you put out. So schedule them with something like Hootsuite or some automated service, so you should schedule them to go out every 3 or 4 days at different times of the day to engage different audiences who are looking on Facebook, LinkedIn and Google, etc. throughout the time. And then also make sure you've got an RSS feed. Pinterest, you'll see the Pinterest logo there. I think that's a great tool for promoting blog posts. If you're always putting a graphic in your blog post here, in the center bit, you'll see that LinkedIn and Twitter graphic. If you're always doing that, then basically if you install the bookmarklet from Pinterest, which is if you create a Pinterest account, you get to download this little bookmark thing which goes in your browser header. Whatever page you're on, you can say pin it, and what it will do is it will pull the images from that page, and you can choose the LinkedIn and Twitter image there, click on it and pin that to your board, say inside your business or our random thoughts board, whatever you want to call it, and it will link that back to your blog post. Again, not good for SEO credit, but does drive a lot of traffic. So that's how to promote your blog. If you've got dive into the toolkit, as I said, you've got lots and lots of resources there in the toolkit to help you get up and running with your blog. If you've got any questions about anything, you can either contact us via our website, which is www.cognition-coaching.co.uk, or you can have a look at our own blog, which is here, this URL at the bottom here, which is available on the bottom of the bottom of the infographic, and will also be on a number of from a link from our own main website as well. So check out our own blog, and there's loads of ways to connect with us on there, and we'd love to keep in touch with you. So thank you very much for your time today, and I hope you enjoy blogging, and I look forward to reading some of your content. Take care.